Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 5 of Tiger and Bunny. So last time we had probably my favorite episode so far, which touched on, I can't remember her name right now. I'm going to get these names down, I swear to you. It's just, I'm not good with that. But our female hero, and she in her real life wanted to be a singer and was kind of forced into it, and we kind of got to like learn a lot more about her and get to see kind of the episode through her eyes rather than Tiger's, who was kind of the focused character before this. And I really liked that. I really liked what they did with her as a character and what they just focused on. So, that being said, we continue on. And I still know nothing about what's to come, except I have been, I guess, spoiled on one thing through the comments. And it was by someone I think they were new to my reactions. So I don't think they knew how much I avoided spoilers or whatnot. So I'm not like as angry with it as I could be. But basically it was about revealing like information about Fire Emblem and their powers, or not their powers, but their gender and pronouns and all of that. Because I'm not going to go deep into it, but apparently like there's more to that I guess is talked about in a movie or something. I don't know, but either way, we'll get to that when we do, but yeah, so probably going to be addressing them with they them pronouns now, so yeah. But anyways, so yeah, this is giving us a deeper look into things a lot better, and I'm hoping they continue that with the other heroes, because there's so many more that we still want to know about. And so far, so good. I'm enjoying this series. I don't entirely know where they're going with it yet. I feel like they're still trying to almost figure it out. Even if that's not actually the case, even if they're just still doing setup and all, it doesn't feel like it has a full goal or scale with the series yet. Like I can't tell exactly what they're going to try to accomplish with these characters, or what the main story is going to be outside of just, you know, Tiger and Bunny trying to work together and, you know, being at odds all the time. Like that's not really like a main plot. That's just basically character traits. It's as simple as that. So maybe we'll start to get a bigger picture for things in the coming episodes. Maybe we won't. Maybe that doesn't come until later on in the season. I don't know. But I'm interested to see. Now, one thing I've been thinking about, real quick before we begin this, is since this is a poll series, if I take a break halfway through for to avoid burnouts, as I do with shows, where do I put it when I bring it back? Do I have it return as a poll series, or would I put it into a different slot? Because I almost feel like it'd be weird to have it return into the poll slot. Maybe that's just me, but it's like because it wouldn't be voted on. Like let's say for example, let's say we have a break halfway through the season, right? We take a break, we do another poll, and we get to that series. So after we finish that poll series or take a break, then instead of having another poll, we just come back to this. I don't know, that just feels weird to me. Is that just me? But I also feel like putting it in another slot all of a sudden would also be weird, since it is specifically a poll slot. I mean, we could come back to it. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. I'm just wondering, like, maybe what you guys think. Because I think this is like 24 episodes or so. Let me check real quick. There's 25 episodes, okay. But yeah, there's 25 episodes then. So this is probably one of those series that I will need a mid-season break on, just to, again, avoid burnout. So the question is, like, what do I do for that? Do I take the break and then bring it back after another show to this slot, or do I bring it back into a different slot? And if so, the different slot would obviously have to be just a regular choice slot, because it wouldn't fit into a slot for, obviously, donation rewards, or for shows that I'm continuing from a first impressions reaction. It wouldn't fit into those slots. But it's not exactly a Connie's Choice series. It's a poll series still, so I don't know. I think probably the best option would be to just bring it back into this slot. But I do want to hear what you guys think too. So that's one big thing I am asking for you to comment on specifically. You can comment on everything and anything you want, though, but I'm asking, if you can, to give me your thoughts on that. But yeah, so we'll figure that out when we get to that, because we're not quite there anyway. But I've been thinking about it and wanted to bring it up. So now the big thing is, what are we going to get with this episode? I don't know. But we are starting to get looks into these other characters, so maybe they're going to start focusing on that a little bit. I could be game with that, getting to see some of these other heroes and, like, their lives and why they're heroes and everything. Just, like, learning more about them to help develop their characters in this world. I think that would be a smart move. Also, one big question I kind of want to know is, if there's, like, a bunch of people who presumably have these powers, why aren't there more active heroes? There's a very small number of active heroes. Like, in The Boys, like, there's a lot. There's a shit ton all over the country. We focus on a small group, the 7. But there are many more heroes across the country. They make that clear. Is that the same thing, where it's like, oh, these are just the heroes for this city? Is that what is going on? Or is there something more to it? I genuinely don't know. Maybe, I don't know. They would have to explain that, I feel. But maybe we'll find out. That could be something they could easily go into. But I definitely want some more world building for this series either way. That's definitely one big thing I'm asking for. And just more character building as well, because of how great last episode was. Either way, we're going to get this started, hope for the best, and see what it has in store. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, there are people out there whose birthday is is not a good day. It reminds them of either family that have passed away or other just negative things that might have happened on those days or around those days. And a lot of times, some people just don't even celebrate them. And it seems like that might be the case with Barnaby here. He seemed very down. I think Tiger was completely correct about that. But I don't think he was right on the reasoning. It seemed like maybe it has something to do with his parents. Maybe his parents died on his birthday. That would definitely do it. Luckily, he has his family's maid there, so that still makes him cakes and everything for his birthdays every year, and he seems to genuinely appreciate that. But there's definitely still some sorrow in his past that he's not ready to address, and that's perfectly reasonable. So this episode focuses a lot on Tiger wanting to give Barnaby a present, and he decides they're going to throw a surprise party by staging a fake robbery, a fake, basically the equivalent of a purse snatching, in order to surprise him with all of his quote-unquote friends, and, do something nice for him. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work out, because it's a stupid fucking idea. Like, do they not know him at all? Like, I know he keeps distant from the others, like, sure. But it's like, this is very much not his kind of thing. They do say this. So it's a surprise that they would actually, like, try to go for that. Because a surprise party 100% is not his thing. So it's weird that they would think that this would be a good idea. Tiger is kind of dumb, though. He's naive more than dumb, I would say. He has a good heart. He has a good soul, but it's kind of as Barnaby says. He sticks his head into things too much that it ends up causing problems. He's trying to do good. He's genuinely trying to be a good person, but it can oftentimes get to be too much, where it just ends up causing more trouble than actual good. And that's unfortunate. But it is true. Sometimes if you stick your nose into things too much, it can end up causing trouble, even if you have the best intentions. And it's not even saying that Tiger is, like, being bad or anything by trying to do this. It's just that he needs to realize the time and place, and he needs to just chill a bit on it. He needs to think. And again, that's something I've talked about with the past episodes. That's the big thing. Tiger and Barnaby both have their issues in that regard. They're both two extremes. Tiger is all heart. He doesn't think things through. He doesn't really analyze situations. He just goes. And it's great that his main goal is to save people. That's admirable. But he needs to think things through as well, while Barnaby is the complete opposite. He thinks things through so much that he loses the heart. He's not even doing this job for the goal of saving people. He's doing it for the points. And I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'm sure there's a very big reason for it. It probably has to do with his parents' death, I would wager. Just like with Tiger, it's very clear that the reason he is the way he is because of the way he was saved when he was a kid, that inspired him to become a hero. That's why he puts that first. It's very clear where his inspiration comes from, and I feel like Barnaby probably has the same, but he just, he's not opening up about that, which that's just his character. So I'm definitely interested to see where that in turn goes. How long will it take for us to find out what his deal is and why he's so obsessed with points and, in a way, the fame of being a hero, more so than being a hero. I don't think Barnaby at all is a bad person. I just think there's a lot of darkness to his past that he has not really worked through, that he needs to. We'll see how that goes, though, but they both need to learn from each other in a way and kind of balance things out. Working together balances them out a little bit, but not enough by any means. They end up getting caught up, though, while Tiger's forcing Barnaby to go into this little scheme of his. They end up getting caught up in a real robbery. This rich asshole, like, who can turn his skin into diamond and everything, decides he wants to steal this expensive gold necklace. So he ends up getting caught up in the fake robbery because he's just going through the same alleyway. And unfortunately, because of that, shit gets real. Tiger and Barnaby have to suit up, including with some new upgrades that just make them look cooler. They're just aesthetic upgrades. But it allows them to work together enough to be able to take out this asshole's diamond skin and save the day. And as a birthday present, Tiger allows Barnaby to take the perp in, getting all the points for himself, which Barnaby actually surprisingly does seem to appreciate. But as said, he does seem to want the points. And again, I definitely think there's a reason to that. Because he definitely just doesn't read to me as an asshole. Like, even though they're trying to kind of make him seem like that, he doesn't read to me that way. I don't think he is. I think that there's a lot more to his character based on those scenes we have seen of his family and everything, of his parents dying and all. So I'm definitely interested to learn more about him as this goes along. But then it kind of left off on a cliffhanger, showing us this guy who had, like, what looked like maybe fire powers or something like that. But he was watching things and walked away at the end. He's definitely being set up either for the next episode or just sometime in the future. But that's definitely being set up. Now, I don't know where this is going to go from here, but as I said in the pre-thoughts, we're probably going to take a mid-season break just to avoid burnout with this. And after, like, I was thinking about this while watching the episode as well. I was still paying attention, obviously, but I was also thinking about it. And I think the best option would be to keep it when we take the break and then eventually come back to it. I think the best option would be to keep it in this slot, because it's just, I don't think there's a way to work it out by putting it in another slot. That would just make sense. If we keep it in this slot, it's like, yeah, there's the issue of, like, okay, so we're going to go from one show that was poll voted to back to this show. So there's going to be just an absence of a poll there. But, I mean, this show was still voted on. You guys still chose it. So, like, that doesn't change just because we're going to be taking a break in the middle there. So I think that's what we're going to do. Obviously, we're not quite at that point yet. There's 25 episodes. There'll probably be around 12 or 13 where we take the break. Somewhere in that range. But we'll handle that when we get to it. It's just, I guess it'll depend on when I feel like it's the best point to stop, maybe. We'll see. Either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.